are live here in the bosom of the divine presence. So, welcome all of you out there in virtual land and whoever is able to say that you can see and hear me. Well, I guess you do that by saying hello. That's fine. You will win the prize of a special spiritual mind treatment done by me just for you. You just let me know what that is for. So that's what we're doing right now while we're waiting for our 20 seconds to pass and you to join. There you are, Deja, you win. Okay, we're ready to go. Welcome. Hello, so good to see you. All right, so also those of you who are out there and here, think about for what you would like me to do our opening spiritual mind treatment, what you would like that to be about. So, oops, I'm doing the wrong thing.
Creativity.
All right, so I'm hearing creativity in the room and joy, creativity, joy. That's easy. Okay.
Tranquility.
What?
Tranquility.
Tranquility. Okay.
Connection.
Okay, Michael, also you get the second prize of a spiritual mind treatment by me. So let me know what that's for. And good morning, Regina. Oh, okay, so Michael's already said we'll include perfect healing. Hi, Marilyn. Good to see you too. All right, so we've got healing, we've got joy, creativity, tranquility, connection. Who said connection? Oh, okay, connection. Anything out here virtually? Nope. Last call? Okay. All right. If you write something in after I do the treatment, we'll include it in the service somehow. Okay. Good.
Carrie and Milton finding their way here. They're on their way.
Right. Actually, I already did that treatment. Okay. Good. All right. So here we go. What was it? Creativity, connection, joy, tranquility, healing. Okay. All right, so this word is being spoken for each one. And if there's anyone you would like to have included or any place on the planet, just think of their name or that place now and know that they are also included. Because truth is omnipresent. And so that loving presence is right now with each one, in each one, creating each one, guiding each one for the highest and greatest expression of its magnificence through humanity in this world, in earth. Wherever anyone is contemplating, there is the presence of the divine and all of its qualities, intelligence, wisdom, right action, guidance, love, joy, harmony, creativity, oneness and connection, and that infinite peace that knows always that all is well, bringing a true tranquility to each one. And in realizing this one divine presence creating out of its own substance is already creating only its perfect, whole, and complete expressions of itself. And this realization is now manifesting as an experience for each one of change in a happy, healthier way than ever before. That infinite mind continuously knowing I am that I am is continuously creating and projecting itself in form and in experience. And this realization of this divine activity is included in the activity of creation, in, through, as, and all around each one. And so this realization of that perfect, whole, and complete creator, that first cause, creates for each one an expanded experience of that divine perfection, wholeness, and completeness, which human beings call healing. And so each one is healthier than ever before. And in every nook and cranny of each one's being, in every single spot, in every little detail, is the presence of this divine creator creating out of its own substance, its own qualities. And so all is created very good. And this train of thinking right now in complete and total agreement with the divine, all-knowing continuous thinker, allows that experience of greater health and goodness to flow into the world, into form, for, in, through, and as each one. This is true in all ways. And health is omnipresent. And health is a human experience of thriving, of prospering, of being one with all that the divine is and experiencing all of its qualities and enjoying the expression of these qualities right where and right through each one. And so each one is experiencing now the oneness that is and being connected with all that is the I am that I am, the all good. Any belief that one is separated or apart or rejection on any level, any feeling or belief of isolation or loneliness, it's all erased, evaporated, and vanished because each one is now and always one with the one and experiencing that connection with the divine, which is all, with that divinity in the absolute and that divinity expressing in each and every one, in everyone. Each one is connected. And in this connection with that which is divine is knowing the peace of the divine. So all belief in being connected with other human beings, creating chaos and confusion and disagreements and problems, that's all evaporated because the connection is with the divine one, which is all for one and one for all, which is only knowing the highest and greatest good of all, which is only knowing the good that all can agree upon. And in this realization and connection, there is peace and tranquility in each one's mind, heart, as well as experience, and particularly in each one's relationships with everyone else. This divine loving presence is expressing itself creatively always. It never duplicates itself. There is no repetition in God's creation. Any belief that God is just churning it all out or doing it mindlessly is all erased, evaporated, and vanished. The divine does not create a drone. The divine is always fully present. I am that I am, and creates itself in a new and amazing way in form. And so this divine creativity, being omnipresent, is present right where each one is. And any belief that one is not creative, any belief or experience of boredom, of repetition of old thoughts and old habits and being dragged down by the old patterns that one might have established in their life, any need to have everything be the same as it was yesterday, is all erased, evaporated, and vanished. Any fear of the new good, any fear of letting go of the old ideas that would hinder the acceptance of the now new ideas is all by this word, erased, vanished, and gone. Each one is what the divine always is, a fresh, new, inspired creation of the I am that I am. And its creative power, thought, energy is present right now, right where each one is. And so with all this, there is a joy in experiencing this great and wonderful life. And this joy is from within, and it is not dependent upon the world being anything or anything happening in the world. There is no divine joy coming from the effect. The effect is neutral. It is never cause. The cause of all joy is that substance of the divine I am that I am, always present, always knowing itself. And so each one is knowing joy completely and continuously because it is the very substance of each one's being. All is well, all is in balance and in harmony, all is experiencing the highest and the greatest good of all, which includes the highest and greatest good of each one. And it includes being healthier than ever before, prospering and thriving in expressing life, being filled with peace and creativity and delight, knowing one is with the all, and all other divinely desired ideas within anyone in this moment. All of it is fulfilling itself right where each one is, here and now. This is the truth. It is the activity, the continuous activity of the divine in creating all. And so it is the true reality of each one. I am grateful this is so. I release this word to the law. Grateful it's done, and so it is. And that's the way it is. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tina. Good to see you. Debbie Joy, hello. Morning, friends. Clarity and peace. We got that, Tina. All right, that got covered. Hello, David. I think I covered everything, but if not, post it, let me know, and we will move forward. Right now, we've got Reverend Rich ready to go. And off he goes.
Shri Sache Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Paramatma Ki Jai Om Shanti 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 Om Om Shri Sache Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Paramatma Ki Jai Om Shanti 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 Om Om Shri Sache Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Paramatma Ki Jai Om Shanti 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 Om Om Shri Sache Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Paramatma Ki Jai Om Shanti 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 Om I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive.
And so let's take a moment to think about what we are opening to. Yes, there are infinite possibilities yet to be, but we have been given the gift to choose out of these infinite possibilities, out of the infinite qualities of the divine. So, what is it that you desire to open to this morning? What is it that you personally desire to experience? And whatever it is, open to it. Just let yourself be aware of how important something is to you and just accept it. Don't say no to it. Just let it be and then see if that loving presence, God, has anything to contribute to fulfilling that which you have decided to be open to. So it's a morning of discovery. Let's make that choice now and know it is done.
I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive.
Good morning. My name is Susan Neat. I'm a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, and I welcome you. We all welcome you. We are a loving, healing, inclusive community that teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind. And how do we do that? Well, we have our Sunday service for you to participate in, and we have a website on which you can request a prayer, you can make an appointment with a practitioner, and we have classes. And this Wednesday, I'll be teaching the Evening Inspiration Workshop, and it is actually a meditation, a Joel Goldsmith meditation, and there'll be some contemplation of some of his words from Infinite Way and Living the Infinite Way. That begins at 7:30, so we'd love to see you there. And we do this to heal ourselves, for the spiritual growth of ourselves and the world, so we can shine our light and you can shine your light outward for everyone to receive. And it is a gift to have this center to support us. So I discovered that I'm doing the welcome here on Palm Sunday. And I'm going to admit to you that growing up, Easter was a big deal for me. Well, we got an Easter basket. There was the Easter bunny. There were Easter egg hunts. And all I knew about Palm Sunday was that they handed out these things. And I wasn't Catholic, so I wasn't privy to those things. And they used to make cool little shapes. And we would find them on the floor and we'd pick them up. And I really didn't have a clue. And so I thought maybe it's time at my 68th year I should have a clue as to what Palm Sunday represented. So I spent the week researching. I was researching Unity's interpretation, Science of Mind interpretation, Latter-day Saints interpretation, and I was being touched on so many levels. And I was actually surprised to see how many different interpretations there were. So I decided I would bring to you the interpretation that touched me. And I have to tell you that it touched me in a very big way. And I'm going to admit this to a lot of people right now. Karen brought up the volcanoes in Iceland. And, you know, that's an eruption or a release. And I'm going to share this with you. Honestly, I got a pimple. Now you can laugh, right? I got a pimple. And I don't. You see, that's the irony of this. This does not happen to me. And I grabbed Louise Hay's books and I just had to figure this out. And I have been going through a lot of release this week, you know, based on what I've been learning about Palm Sunday. So I hope that you enjoy this. And I'm going to start by reading an Ernest Holmes writing that I found in this research that I was digging into. It's just so beautiful. And it speaks to the interpretation that I am embodying, really. It brings me to tears, so. This I saw, or else some inner presence made it known to me. The universe is filled with life. The air, the sky, the sea teem with intelligence, with majesty and might. And deep within me, some subtle inner sight beholds and sees, comprehends and knows the all, nor fears nor falters, but answers the divine call to be as one beyond the bounds of time and space, to overcome the bondage of the human race and leap with trust, undaunted, free, into the deeps of the infinite sea, whose waters, calm, are ready to receive those who in simple faith believe. And so on Palm Sunday, Jesus rode into Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is metaphorically, according to some, the habitat for peace, or the peace consciousness of the knowing. And so he took this trip to Jerusalem, which represented his willingness or his acceptance of leaving behind or crucifying the last sense of physical sense, of material sense. And he did this willingly. And in the poem, as Ernest stated, do we answer the divine call? And I have to share with you that when the divine calls, it's not always willingly that we go. And I will share with you my story. When I was called to become a practitioner, I did not want to become a practitioner. And I went into Karen one day. I said, don't let me take the training. And she was like, sure, no problem. Take the training. But it just kept tugging at me. And, you know, can we consciously surrender to our innate divinity? It's quite a calling. And the donkey, Jesus was riding the donkey. The donkey was therefore meek, allowing Jesus to ride this donkey. And the donkey signifies the surrender to the Christ nature. And that is, surrender is something that is hard for us, right? There are things that we just love in this world, and they are God-given and they are beautiful, but there are also some habits that we have, and well, I'll talk about those when we get to the temple. But it was just such a beautiful story to think of moving forward in faith and surrender. And there are some that say Jesus knew it was going to happen, and he still heeded the divine call. So the palms signify receptivity and enthusiasm. And as in the poem, Ernest Holmes says, can we leap and trust undaunted and free? Are we ready to receive? Leap and trust undaunted and free. I love that line from that poem. I think I'm going to have to memorize that poem. We were talking about how we like to memorize things that speak to us. And the hosannas represent harmonious energies seeking freedom from our error of thoughts. Some interpretation says, save me, save us from our error of thinking. And the crowds and the city in turmoil can refer to the multitudes of material thoughts that are close to being raised. When we take classes with Reverend Karen, she refers to this place, I call it the squiggly line place. We're making some spiritual recognition, some progress, and then we get to this plateau and we mull it around for a while. And that's what I think of when I think of this city in turmoil. But something was about to happen. Something was about to happen. And we were getting ready to receive. And in the poem, Ernest Holmes says, are we ready to flow into the infinite sea where the waters are calm and leave the crowd, leave the squiggly lines, leave the confusion? And then, of course, the next day, I think it was Monday, maybe it was, he went to the temple and he drove out the money changers. And that represents the cleansing of our thoughts, leaving, and Karen brought that up beautifully in this morning's treatment, a lot of releasing old beliefs, old patterns, old thoughts, and being ready to accept our divine nature, cleansing out our thoughts. So, on this day of Palm Sunday, and I'm going to reread a little bit of Ernest's poem, let us welcome our divine nature. Let us leap with trust and undaunted and free into the deeps of the infinite sea, whose waters calm are ready to receive those who in simple faith believe. So thank you for letting me share my inspiration, my personal thoughts about Palm Sunday, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
So this is a shaker hymn. And it's got Hosanna in it. The lyrics are easy. More love, the angels are calling. The angels are calling. Hosanna, more love. More love, more love. The angels are calling. The angels are calling. Hosanna, more love. More joy, more joy, more joy. The angels are calling. The angels are calling. Hosanna, more joy. More joy, more joy, the angels are calling, the angels are calling, Hosanna, more joy. More peace, more peace, more peace, the angels are calling, the angels are calling, Hosanna, more peace, more life. More life, more life, the angels are calling, the angels are calling, Hosanna, more life, more life, more life, the angels are calling, the angels are calling, Hosanna, more life. One more with love. More love, more love. The angels are calling, the angels are calling, Hosanna, Hosanna.
Good morning. Be with me as I lead a short meditation. Imagine yourself, well, let's first relax. Imagine me relaxing, okay? It happens. So if you can, if you're in a position to do so, you're not driving your car, you close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, in and out, in and out, in and out. Now imagine yourself in your mind's eye, you're sitting on a beach. There's a chair, you're sitting in the chair looking out over this beautiful expanse of ocean, and it's just endless. You can't see anywhere, you can't see anything except to the horizon. There's absolutely nothing except this big ocean. And on either side of you is a beach that extends to where you can't see it anymore. And you sit there for a couple of seconds. And it just occurs to you to reach down and pick up a handful of the sand from that beach. And you let it trickle through your hand, and you think to yourself, how many grains of sand are there in this? How much is this? And you realize that there's no way to count. And you look around you and you say, how many handfuls of sand are there on this beach? And again, you can't count that. Now you stand and turn around and you notice a forest with a path leading into it. And you walk into the forest. And when you've gone a short distance, you notice that there's a bench in a small clearing. You sit down and look out into the forest. And you say to yourself, there are more trees than I can count. Each tree has more leaves, and there are more kinds of trees than I've ever seen before. There are flowers, there are all sorts of things out there. And you just think to yourself, again, this is the infinity of nature, the infinity of what's given to us right from the beginning. And as you're sitting there, your eyes drift shut, and you visualize a night sky with all the stars there, all the constellations, everything is clear. Maybe you're thinking that you're looking through the Hubble Space Telescope or something, and there's just an infinite variety there too. And you picture among those things that you've been looking for, that you say to yourself, I can't reach this, it's limited. And you realize that there is no limit. There is no limit. It's infinite. You rest and think of the things that you want and realize that they are within reach. Rest here for a minute. And now you open your eyes again in your mind. Retrace your steps back to the beach and sit and look out at the ocean. And in this frame of mind, with the realization that everything is infinite, everything is real, I have a word to speak. This word is for everyone listening, everyone who will be listening in the future. There is only one. There is one power that we call by 1,000 names, thousands of names, in 7,000 languages. And this power is called love, peace, beauty, serenity. It's called energy, mind, thought, consciousness, whatever you call it, in whatever language, it knows its name. And it calls itself, I am that I am, because it is beyond all names. And it is everywhere, within everything. It is within this that we live, move, and have our being. And because it has no limit of time or space, it is also this thing living within us that is our life and breath. We therefore know that there are no limits in anything. And I know that anything that you truly desire that is consistent with the will of God is yours. And it's yours from the beginning. There's nothing you need to do to get it. There's nothing you need to do except be yourself and know that it is God that is your supply. I'm grateful that this is so. I let this word go to the law, knowing it is already, always already done. And so it is.
So it is. Amen. Hallelujah.
You can play the game and act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? Well, one thing can lead to another, doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is why you know. Oh, what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Won't you tell somebody the way that you feel? You can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say, yeah, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out better if you always will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. They say in every life, they say the rain must fall, just like pouring rain. Make it rain, make it rain. Love is sunshine.
Wow, I wanted that to keep going on. All right, so let's get myself organized here. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, good. All right, we're all here. Hello, Stephanie Ann. Hello, Joaquina. Glad to see both of you. Arlene, Damaris, Kathy, and Mary coming in from another state. I forget what state you're in, but that's okay. You'll post it soon. Okay, great. Waiting for a new little being to come out onto the planet for all of us to see. So that's fabulous. All right, so it's Palm Sunday and entering into a whole new consciousness. We call it Jerusalem, call it heaven, call it whatever. And for the past 6 weeks, we have been using John Randolph Price's The Abundance Book for inspiration as we have been contemplating the consciousness of prosperity. And our wonderful practitioner intern gave us a fabulous meditation on infinite and too much to count and being one with it. And so we've been thinking about this idea now, and we're 1 week away from the big resurrection day. And so we'll know what happens when we resurrect, when we get there. But what is it? What are we doing here? What's my talk about? Okay, so for some reason, as I shared with people here in our studio audience before, I have been riveted by the activity going on in Iceland. And every morning I sit there in front of the live feed of the volcanic eruption, and not much can be seen happening except for, this spewing forth of lava, and it's moving around on the planet. And Sometimes it's snowing and the clouds are so bad you really don't see anything. And you can go back anytime in the past 12 hours and see what it looked like in the middle of the night, what it looked like a couple of days ago, and how this little nothing became something enormous, and its contribution to the planet just growing and growing and growing. And at the present moment, this valley, which was empty, is completely filled with this volcano. They recommend you call the volcano Bob by Bob's, because the Icelandic name is like, whatever. It's just expressing itself infinitely. And it's a power. And what I like about the activity of a volcano is the realization that it's coming from something at the center of Earth, the core. And that there is something that's wanting to express itself on Earth, and that activity of this desire of something to express itself out onto the planet is continuously happening. And at a certain point, its desire to express gets so enormous that it breaks out. And, we act like, oh, wow, like it just happened. And what we want to realize is it's always happening. It's just below the surface. Call it God, call it abundance, call it love, call it joy, but it's that divine urge to be. And when I see a volcano, I think of it similar to the original moment of creation, the Big Bang, where that divine presence, I am that I am, desired so much to express itself that it was a big bang, call it that or whatever, but suddenly the entire universe was set into expression and continues to express itself. And so what John Randolph Price asks us to become aware of is that this desire to create and the activity of creation is always happening. There was no beginning to God suddenly desiring, I think I'll create a universe. No, the divine presence is always creating time and space to express itself. It is all that is, and yet it is before anything that is was is. Jeff, I really don't know whether you're astounded by it or you're trying to stay awake. As soon as I said that, I saw his hands come up and he's, whatever. Sorry, but it was just got my attention, like the volcano. The thing is that as human beings, we tend to think in terms of this happened and then this happened, and if this didn't happen, then that wouldn't happen. And we think of ourselves as contained and like pool balls that knock into each other, and all of this all contained on the pool table. And what we need to realize when we're talking about the divine is it is not contained, and it didn't just start its game. That there was no beginning to God. There is no end to God. God is God. There is a beginning to our experiences, to our particular forms that we are expressing through. There is a beginning and an end to this particular service. I promise there will be an end. It's not going to go on infinitely, although, with the internet, well, actually, with the live feed out there in Iceland, it's going on forever. It's continuous. But what we want to realize is that what we are connecting to is something that already is and is always expressing itself, and without beginning, without end. And what, in connecting with this, what we are attempting to get away from is thinking from here to here, measured, limited. If only I win the lottery, then I'll be happy, kind of thinking. Or all I have to do is get through this wet day, and then I'll have joy. Or all I have to do, again, I think I shared this with last week, is there's some unpleasant experience going on in our lives. If I could just hire someone to, stand in for me on that particular discussion that I don't want to have, right? Just, stand in for me. I'll join you later. No, that this life is present and creating all the time. Whether you're awake, whether you're asleep, whether you're dreaming, whether you're being vague, whether you're out to lunch, whether you're in a coma, continuously, why was that funny? Continuously present. What I enjoy watching, one of the things I enjoy watching, I'm scared watching when I'm watching the volcano, is the people who are there. And I watched this one reporter's video newscast explaining, he was standing in front of the lava, the lava that had spread out all over, and the lava was maybe 2 or 3 times his size or something. He's standing sort of in front of it. And he's like, and what he's saying is, what everyone needs to remember is there's lava in there. So it's like all this black stuff, but there's lava in there. And it's still getting pushed out through the volcano. And at any moment, it can burst through. And ever since he said that, I'm like looking at these people, with their cameras, their little Facebook Live, little, cell phones, whatever. Let me get a really good shot. And they can see like they're in front of the black lava, right? And they're seeing the orange, flames crack through, and they're like, oh, let's get a better shot. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. World, it's there. The creative energy is there, and it is creating, it is moving, it is expressing itself, and it doesn't really think about whether you're getting a good shot of it or not. Nothing stands in its way. The creative force of God will out and is always expressing itself. Amen, indeed. And we go along with it, or we better get out of its way. I don't know how we get out of its way, right? But it's going to create itself. So another metaphor for this is that river that rises from the heights and is flowing into the ocean. Thank you, Gary. That infinite ocean is there. And we can join that flow, which is easy and effortless and brings us into infinite blessings, or we can try to be creating our own little stream out of the willpower that we've got. And, maybe get some water out of the leaves that are dripping or something, and try to harness that. But it's bound, whatever kind of little stream we create, it is bound for the ocean. And so one way or another, we are going to become aware and present in the flow. Because that divine creator is omnipresent. It cannot be resisted. It must be accepted. And we have a happier experience when we accept it for what it is and not try to make it what we want to be. In other words, what I think about with all of this divine flow and the lava, whatever, is a volcano is what it is, and lava's going to do what it's going to do. And we respect it and cooperate with it, or something else. What they say, the reporters have said, and the scientists have said, that that these lava emits a gas that is odorless. And if you breathe it in, you're dead. So, it's odorless, so you can't smell it, and you know. So the people who are there, standing all around the lava, they're like, you know, they've got gas masks. Put them on, people, or you know, they're like trying to watch which way the wind is blowing. And I actually was watching a video. Somebody's got a little beeper now, I guess, when the gas is starting to think, and you hear the little beeper going off, and they're all, you know, sashaying away. And I'm like, move your butts. Because the power of the divine, I am that I am, knows no obstruction, is not concerned whether you are aware of the presence of the divine or not. It's going to be and create what it is. And that is an expression of life and love and power and peace and beauty and harmony and joy. And you get with its program or you suffer. Them's the rules. I didn't make them. I can't say I like them, but that's it. That's it. That's the way it is. So John Randolph Price says in his 10 days, I underlined all these places. He's got 10 different spiritual truths, and we take one each day for 10 days, and then we begin again, so that for 40 days, we're thinking about these 10 ideas, 4 days for each idea. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, 6 out of the 10 are trying to say the same thing. So that's today's talk. God is lavish, unfailing abundance, this all-providing source of infinite prosperity. All providing. See, they're all to do with this continuous activity. Number 3, I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Number 5, my awareness, understanding, and knowledge of the all-providing activity of the divine mind within me is my supply. Number 6, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience as the principle of supply in action. Number 7, the divine consciousness that I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. And number 9, I have found the secret of life, and I relax in the knowledge that the activity of divine abundance is eternally operating in my life. I simply have to be aware of the flow, the radiation of that creative energy, which is continuously, easily, and effortlessly pouring forth from my divine consciousness. I am now aware. I am now in the flow. And as we've been practicing this, you can name whatever name of the divine that you like. This is common. It's not particular to any particular religion. It's not particular to, it's infinite. So, you know, name the divine, whatever it is, but it is something that is forever flowing and forever creating. And your awareness of that continuous activity of God creating and expressing and being its magnificence gives to you an experience of being in the flow. And what you imagine that divine as being, that's the flow that you are entering into. So if it's a flow of love that you are imagining, one of my favorite names for God is, right, that divine love, divine love. And as I am aware that divine love is, maybe I've been being a little stream, you know, off in the rocks, having lots of obstacles and troubles or whatever. But when I'm out there being that stream, if I say, wait, there is divine love. I become aware that there is this river flowing easily and effortlessly, and that I can move my stream toward it. And at some point, it will naturally join that river. That's what we are cultivating, is an awareness of the presence of this flow of divine love into its ocean expression, and that we can be one with it and enjoy all the goodies that go with being in that flow. Or we can have our own personal experience on the mountain. You know, there's lions on that mountain. They're not in the river. They're having a good time too. So, how are you doing with all that? Hi, Margit. I just saw Margit post on our virtual reality, and yes, she is here. She bilocated. She's virtual. I'm here. She's omnipresent. Yes, there we go. See, a very real metaphor, another metaphor experience of that omnipresence. So, ignorance and innocence of the presence of this divine flow doesn't help. We have to be aware that it's there. And so, you know, yes, we feel sorry for all the people who don't know the presence of God, don't know the presence of love, don't know the presence of peace and of harmony. And what you need to realize is, don't you worry about them. You got enough problems with yourself. Get yourself in that river. Get aware. And it, again, why can't everybody have, you know, the consciousness of abundance? And why did God make us so that, you know, we're all happy and healthy, whatever? The thing is the divine created the flow of itself. That's available to all of us. But in order to experience it, we have to come out of the Garden of Eden, the consciousness of cluelessness. You know, right? Everybody wants to return to the garden. I'm like, hello, it's the consciousness of cluelessness. You know, there they were, and they weren't aware that they were in the flow in that garden where everything was wonderful. They weren't aware that they were there. That's just the way it is. And so we're dragged, kicking and screaming, out of that garden to be aware in our human expression. The way we become aware of something is for a moment to stand outside of it and say, whoa, there's something there. But like we're all right now in time and space, we can't imagine being without time and space. So we're most of the time completely unaware of it. But we need to become consciously aware of it, to realize its value, and to have that joyous experience of making a choice. Out of trying every other possible choice we can, every other little tributary and stream of life that we can, right, which the Old Testament is filled with, is like they tried this one and tried that one, and whoops, that was a mistake, and God forgive me. You know, after all those infinite choices that we've made, to come into the consciousness of love in the New Testament and realize I have a choice. I've tried every other way, and I'm choosing with my whole heart and my whole soul and my whole life to live in the flow of love, of God. That is what we are called on to do. And prosperity is that experience of being fully aware, fully conscious, fully present, and knowing all that we know, to choose to be aware of it and to be in it. And to be it. And then with that choice, we have to cooperate with the way that love is, with the way life is, with the way that God is. It is the way it is. We have to cooperate. So I watch the people in Iceland cooperate with it. Realize the power. Have any of you out there or here ever been near a volcano? I've got some people who are nodding their heads. I was in Hawaii and I got to visit an inactive volcano, which became active after I left, and to feel the power, right? Don't you feel the power? It's like there's this silence and you're like, whoa, something's here. As Susan shared when she was talking about Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, it's like something's going to happen. And I was to feel the presence of that creative force and to know that something's going to happen. Whew, love it. But it's not just in a volcano. We need to realize it's in us. When I first came into this teaching decades ago, I wanted to be an actress, right? And I decided at one point in my early career, I wanted to be hired in a play inside New York City. And I was not yet with a union. And so it had to be a non-equity show. And I was with a friend that morning. It probably was a Sunday morning, maybe a Saturday morning. I don't know. It was a weekend. My friend and I, we did a treatment that I am now in this wonderful play in New York City, non-equity. It is done, da-da-da-da. And there was something about our combined treatment and knowing of it. Maybe there was less obstructions or less non-cooperation in me. But we gave this powerful spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, and I went off to Queens, a diner, to meet with my acting scene partner, and we were going to rehearse our little scene over breakfast in the diner. And toward the end of that, a man who had been sitting at a table, a couple of tables away from us, was leaving and stopped by our table. And as he was approaching our table, I felt this same power. And it's like everything slowed down, and I felt something's going to happen. And he stopped at the table. I wasn't surprised because something was going to happen. And he asked me, he said, "Excuse me, are you an actress?" "Why, yes, I am." "I have an important question. Are you in the union?" Usually you want to say, "Yeah," because you know. I'm like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Good. I'm directing a play in the city in Maine, and I want you to be in it." I'm like, "Fine, I accept. Here's my number. Call me in May, and I'll let you know what the details are." And he left. And my acting partner said, "I think that was legitimate." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is." And when May came around, I gave the call, and the office said, "Come at this time. We're having auditions, but don't wait in line. Go past everyone to the back of the building and take the elevator up. And whenever you get there, we'll stop the auditions and talk to you." I said, "Okay." So I showed up a block and a half away. The women are all in line to audition for the part that I had. And I walked past all of them, and I went to the back of the room, off the building, and there was an elevator. I got in, I got out, because a part of me is going, what the heck? But all right. So I did it. I showed up. They stopped the auditions. They put me in. The guy, the director, the man that I met said, "Oh, good. I'm glad to see you. Right. Could you do your monologue?" I did my monologue. He's like, "Great. You're hired." I'm like, "Okay, thank you very much. Here's the details." Da, 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 da. I left. All the women are still in line waiting for the audition. And he auditioned and heard every single one of them. And what I need to share is it was a role that at the time I was completely inappropriate for. I was supposed to be playing an Italian sexy one. See how you become what got started years ago, right? Anyway, so it was ridiculous. I don't know what the director was thinking or not thinking, but that divine presence brought us together, and there it was. So there's a little tidbit on how we might experience it in a particular moment. But what we want to get clear about and go back to is that loving presence is forever flowing and creating and causing perfect forms to express itself in this world. It is not stopped or inhibited by anything that any one particular person or groups of people are doing with it, agreeing with it or disagreeing with it, cooperating or not. It is I am that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am, continuously creating. And we connect, when we connect with our hearts, realizing that what is in your heart is that divine calling you to join its flow. What's in the heart didn't come from nowhere. It's the call of the flow. And when we shut up, right, and calm down and hear it and connect with it and feel it, we become aware that it's there. We're no longer innocent and ignorant. We're aware there is another way. And if we stay with it, it will guide you to its full rush, its full flow. I know, this is so beautiful. It's God's talk. And so it's there. It's implanted with us. So we don't have to worry about those who don't know about it yet or don't know whatever. We don't have to tell them where to go. It's in them. You might support them in shutting up to listen to it, but good luck with that, right? Just you shut up and listen, and you will not be led astray. And that is the way we experience that prosperity consciousness. It's not just about money. It's about being in the flow and supported by that flow. And knowing that all your needs are met, always, right? And the only time they're not met is when you think they're not being met and you need to go meet them yourself, right? Right. So get back in the flow. Well, easy to say, right? Good luck, all of you. But I know that every one of you is divinely guided. Each and every one of you is in the flow. And all I need to do is shut up and get in the flow myself. Join you there, right? So I will do a spiritual mind treatment after our song so that we all know that flow is there and that we are in it. And so let's have a moment now of Reverend Rich singing glorious music for us.
Let go, let God, or get dragged behind.
That's it.
Lay it down, set it free, let my heart rest, let it be, lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. I was walking through the season of dark and lonely change, where the world was on my shoulder, my fate was rearranged. Knew I'd never be given more than I could bear. Spirit reassured me there was another way. I could lay it down, set it free. I could let my heart rest. Let it be, lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. So every single moment I am left with the choice to stay in separation, listen to the voice that beckons me to open and be grateful for every day. Gently reminds me that there is another way. I could lay it down, set it free, I could let my heart rest. Let it be, lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. Lay it down on the altar of love.
Perfect. So this word is being spoken for each one. There is that, I recognize right now, the presence of the I am that I am, that great creator, God Almighty, that one presence, pure love, pure wholesome goodness. It is now and always expressing itself, creating this entire universe and every detail of it, and each one here in it. Each one is now more aware of this divine creator's hand and its flow of love than ever before. And in this awareness, each one is set free to make a choice to join that flow, that consciousness of love, and its wonderful, beautiful activity of expressing itself in ways of harmony and peace and joy. And so each one is now aware and free to choose and makes that choice that is best for him or her to make. And whatever that choice is, that flow is still present. That divine is still there and is absolutely loving each one, whether he or she agrees with it or not. This is the truth. And I am grateful that this is the truth. I release this word to God's loving law. Know that it is done, and so it is. And that's the way it is. So I thank you all for coming. Thank you, Regina. She's posted in our chat our website address, cslprinceton.org, where you can go and find out about Susan's Wednesday evening class and get in touch with that link that's there. You can make a prayer request. You can make a donation, as Regina has said. And Regina also says, lay it down and set your dreams free. And yeah, and so feel free to contact us and let us know. We have all these practitioners and practitioner interns represented by Gary who are wanting to know the truth for you. So please give them an opportunity to do that. So thank you all for coming. I think I've said hello to everybody who is here. David, hello. Have a great day to you too. Lynn, welcome. She's from Florida. Damaris, I think I've got you all. Right. Okay. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be with you. Wave your palms into the kingdom of heaven. Let's go. Reverend Rich.
Amen. 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 I said amen. 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 Amen.
All right. And so it is. All right, Pauline, good to see you. Arlene, good to see you. Okay. Robert, good to see you too. Okay, I think I've got everybody. All right, I'm going to say goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye.